This is the tale of the book of Jonah, possibly the second funniest book in the Bible. Jonah was a chap from Israel. God said to him, "Jonah, go to Nineveh in the north and tell them about the good news about God, and that if they don't stop sinning, then I'm going to smite them all." So Jonah was afraid that everyone in Nineveh would probably either laugh at him or kill him. So he thought, God, the greatest being in the universe, I know where I'll go to get away from him: Spain. So he got on a boat to go to Spain. On the way, though, a terrible storm blew up, and it wasn't long before all the sailors thought they were all going to die. And Jonah was down below deck sleeping. The captain came down and said, "Jonah, pray to your God, maybe he'll be able to help us. If not, we're all going to die." Jonah came up to the deck where he saw these frantic sailors chucking their luggage overboard. He may have suspected that possibly it was God who was angry at him for running away. So Jonah wasn't sure. They said, "Well, you can only know if we cast lots," which is basically like throwing dice. So Jonah said, "Yes, then we'll know for sure." Naturally, Jonah's dice came up. So Jonah said, "I think it might be." So after chucking over a load more furniture off the ship, they decided that there was nothing they were going to do, and it seemed like they were going to die. So Jonah said, "Fine, chuck me off." And they did. Jonah was ready to die. Within seconds, God had arranged that a giant fish come and eat Jonah. He didn't chew, thank God. And so Jonah sat in the belly of this fish for 3 days. It gave him some time to think about life and to think about really what he was doing. So, lo and behold, 3 days later, the fish puked Jonah up onto the shore, and he was back where he started. This time, he decided that probably God knew best. So he walked to this town in the north. When he got there, he told them all that God was going to smite them because they were so sinful. Surprisingly, they heard what he said, even though he was a foreigner from a God that they didn't really understand. And so they said, "Lord, please don't kill us." And they started to mourn. They threw ashes on their hair and made sure that everyone fasted to show how sorry they were to God for sinning so much and being so violent all the time. You'd think Jonah would be happy that a town of 120,000 people weren't killed in burning sulphur. But no, he kind of expected God would have done this. That he'd come there saying everyone's going to die unless they repent, and then they did repent, so it made him look a bit silly. He'd promised them fire and brimstone, and all they got was grace. So Jonah went off to sit at the east side of the town. He was so emo and depressed about it, he said, "Ugh, I just want to die." So God said, "It's not up to you who dies and who lives." God wanted to illustrate this, so he grew a vine over Jonah's head. Then a worm came and ate the tree, and it died. Jonah became faint, and he said, "Oh, I just want to die," and was emo for a little bit longer. Then God said, "Don't you understand? You get really upset about this leaf, but you don't even care about those 120,000 people over there." And so in the end, God showed that he was gracious, even to people who didn't deserve it. And I'm sure Jonah learnt a few lessons as well.